Broadcasting from the Princeton Orthopedic Associates studios in the home of the Zach Gelb Show. This is Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. WNJE Trenton, Philadelphia.
Ready?
It's time to talk sports. National, local, professional, completely unprofessional, high school and college.
Let's take it even further off the hook.
It's the Zach Gelb Show.
We are rolling
On Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.
5 o'clock, straight up. Welcome back in. 609-9199-D200. Zach Gelb Show right here on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey, 920 a.m. in Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties, or worldwide on the web at 920thejersey.com. Two things that I learned of during the break. And we've had a really fun hour number one talking to Tom McCarthy about Rhys Hoskins and the prodigious home runs that he has hit so far. All 11 of them in his first 18 games of his career, and also hearing Yuri Foreman join us, who is a boxer, a dad, and also a rabbi, and we heard all three about those things in that interview, and we'll be joined by Steve Zemek coming up in about 15 minutes from now to recap the McGregor and Mayweather fight. But two things I learned about during the break, and one we knew it was coming. This Temple, not depth chart, but this Temple above the line chart, which is just such a stupid concept to me. And it's just so secretive. Why can't we know the starting quarterback right now? The game is on Saturday, Temple and Notre Dame. So why can't I go to a depth chart in the game notes that were just sent out to me and see who the starting quarterback is? I like Jeff Collins. I think Jeff Collins can be a really good coach. And you know me, I will always be rooting for my alma mater in Temple. And I love, absolutely love, what this program has turned into and what they are doing on the football field. Where it started with Matt Rule, and I followed it. 2 wins the first year. Tough games. Really tough games that they were in. UCF, J.J. Warden, ridiculous catch. The Fordham game, which they lost. I was on the call for all those. Rutgers, with Leonte Carew right in front of me. And then you saw the 500 year. Then a team went to the American Athletic Conference Championship game. They lost to Houston. But in that year, they beat Penn State. They played a very good game up against Notre Dame. They had college game day in the city of Philadelphia. No one thought that would ever happen. Temple football was bigger than the Eagles for that week. And then last year, tough start to the season, the loss to Army. You respond. You have that magical game in Florida. You beat the crap out of USF here at the Link. The team wins the East for the second year in a row. And they get to the American Athletic Conference Championship game. And what do? They win it. Not only win it, they blow out Navy and Ken Niumatalolo's squad. Then Matt Rule leaves. And when Matt Rule left, you had that state of panic from a fan perspective. You thought, oh, I can't believe he went to Baylor. But I understood why he went to Baylor. And Matt Rule, I will not say a bad word about him, and I understand why he left. He's been very kind, very benevolent to me in my career. And Matt Rule went to Baylor, but he gave something to this university. Unlike Steve Adazio, who was here for a quick sip of coffee and then said adios. And Steve was nice to me, but let's be realistic. He had no intentions to stay here for that long period of time. And he was fine with bolting after the 2 years that he was here for. And then you had what I thought was a very good hire by Pat Kraft. So give Pat Kraft credit. And I still think it's a good hire. But the deception that goes on with some of these college coaches is just ridiculous. And I like Jeff Collins. We've had him on the show numerous times. We've been at their facility. We've done a live broadcast at their facility. I like Jeff Collins. I think he's a very good football coach. And people that you talk to will echo those sentiments. But this is inane stuff, and this is the inane stuff that college coaches do, where you can't even put out a depth chart. Matt Rule had a depth chart. Why can't we have a depth chart now? And it's called the above the line chart. And this is nothing that's a surprise. Collins told you he was going to do it. And when he explained it last week, I thought it was ridiculous, and I still think it's ridiculous now. And if your thought is, oh, when you label a kid a 1 or 2 and a 3, then they'll start playing that way, and the 2s and 3s will start playing like 2s and 3s and acting like 2s and 3s, then I don't want those kids on my team. I don't. If a kid can't take that, he's not good enough to be a starter right then. You know what I want? I want a kid to be motivated to reach that top spot. I want him to act like a Deion Dawkins. I want him to act like a Hassan Reddick, a Tyler Medikevich. Guys that earn their way. You think Tyler Medikevich, when he first got to Temple, said, oh, I didn't get these college recruits. Oh, I can't do that. I wasn't really recruited that much. No. The guy played his ass off. You think Hassan Reddick, who was a walk-on, said, oh, I'm buried down deep. Oh, I can't do it. No, he said he could do it. That's the type of guy that I want on my team. And this above-the-line nonsense and the depth chart, well, not even a depth chart. You can't even call that. It's an embarrassment to depth charts. The above-the-line chart is ridiculous because I'm looking at it right now. It lists the offensive linemen that are good, that are going to play this year. That's what it is. The offensive linemen that he believes are ready for game action are on this thing. And it's listed by number order. So I can't tell you who's going to be started. And the position that annoys me the most in is quarterback. Because all 4 of the quarterbacks are listed above the line. And do I think all 4 of these quarterbacks are good? No. There has to be a separation. You've had a quarterback competition. So why isn't there a starter right now? And I heard last week all 4 quarterbacks could play in this game against Notre Dame. Oh, jeez. That's not good. I want to see 1. Maybe you have to put 2 in, but no more than that. And on the above the line chart, it's Logan Marchi because he's number 12, Anthony Russo because he's number 15, Todd Santeo 3rd because he's 16, and Frank Newtile 4th. We have no clue who's going to start at quarterback. Maybe we'll get some clarity tomorrow when Jeff Collins will speak. Unfortunately, I can't make it down there tomorrow, and I wish I could have, but we have to record an interview with Chris Ash that will air later on. But I would ask him, who's going to start at Notre Dame? And you probably won't get the answer. So I'm hoping you get some clarity on this situation tomorrow. I want to know who's starting because I don't like this above-the-line stuff. Tell me who the starter is going to be. I think it's down to Newtile or Centeo, just from my observations, just from what I've seen when I'm down there. But right now, I have no clue. I couldn't tell you who's it going to be because when I prepare for games, I look at these game notes. And you always have to be skeptical of the game notes sometime, but I can't even tell you who's starting. I can't tell you who's starting at any position. Now, I know I'm smart enough that I could tell you for some positions who's starting, the obvious ones, but when there are position battles, you don't have a clue right now who's starting. And that is a terrible, terrible, and I mean terrible job. How deceptive do you need to be? You could tell me who's going to start. I understand you have to be secret with some stuff, but for crying out loud, gee whiz, tell me who the starter's going to be. I'm not asking for you to tell me the first 5 plays you're going to run in Notre Dame. I'm not asking you to reveal your formations. All I'm asking you who is going to be the starter. And right now, it's above the line, below the line, below the line, above the line. Show me who is not only above the line, but just tell me and be transparent who's starting. It's not that tough. But right now, when I look at the quarterback above the line chart, all 4 of them are above the line. And I don't have a damn clue who's starting up against Notre Dame. I want to know who's starting. And I want those answers right now. 609-919-9200. Zach Gelb Show. 510 from the Princeton Orthopedic Associates Studios. That was unscripted. That was just pure passion right there. And it's driving me crazy. This segment, we were supposed to be talking about Stephen A. Smith and Teddy Atlas. We were supposed to be talking about Nick Foles returning to practice and who I believe is the odd man out at the nickel position for the Philadelphia Eagles. We get to all that coming up later on in the show. Josh McCown, by the way, has been named the starter for the New York Jets. Woo! Hey, they name a starter. The Jets. The lousy Jets named a starter. And they haven't even played him in much of this preseason. They named him the starter, but Temple football can't name a starter. Well, one thing we know, Josh McCown's above the line in the Jets organization. May not be there for long, but in Temple football, I can't tell you who's going to be the starter. I only know who's above the line. And listing all four of those guys above the line is a joke. Absolute joke. Now I hope they kick the ass out of the Irishmen. I hope they beat the Fighting Irish on Saturday. But right now, I'm annoyed. And I'm annoyed because I don't know who's going to be the starter. 5:12 from the Princeton Orthopedic Associates studios. Steve Zemak will join us next. We'll continue the Mayweather and McGregor conversation. Name me a starter, Jeff. Coach Collins, name me a starter. We'll be back right after this.